he can throw down here. It's going to all be about, can he link it, can he land it?
And you can hear an audible, raucous, extra roar for Mimi. A lot of home country support. Here he goes.
There you go, nice. Getting his first wall trick in and just bounding up the course. Setting up a nice side flip and then palm side. It looks like he's coming down onto the big wall. Oh, cork off of that boom. Very nice, but very close to the wall. That definitely ups the level of difficulty. He's stomping through a little bit more. This is more of the Mimis that we've seen in the past, hitting a ton of flips back to back to back. A-twist over the gap, vaults down. Little breakdancer flow there. Comes a little bit close to that edge, but nice. Flash kick out of his cork over the gap to finish. Exciting run from Mimis, very fast, very fluid.
Definitely kept the pedal on the metal from start to finish. What was your favorite part about that run?
I think definitely the middle part of the course where he was able to open it up a little bit and start connecting a few more of these things. You see that pop into the little down monkey on the wall there, and then he's popping up. I think it was very smart to hit something on the wall before heading up. It adds a little bit more course use. I would have loved to see if he could have hit one of the bars maybe, but I know that's not his strong suit. Here he does this side flip right into that pop palm flip and comes down into this cork. See how he's rotating into the wall there so hard, because it just means you can't kick as much as you'd like to, but it shows how tight a lot of this is. And here we see him popping into a bunch more of these moves. That swing leg twist, gainer there. This is the Mimis that we see on his Instagram when he's putting together his stuff. He can find a ton of stuff to do just on one ledge and just work it over and over and over. Very reminiscent of his mentor, DK, who's able to just train and session one ledge over and over, and it makes sense since they trained together in Thessaloniki.
Well, I think with that run, I think we can officially say the sensei has left the dojo. He is, yes, once a protege under DK, but definitely making a name for himself. And it's so great to see these competitors. They're becoming prospectors of progression. You call them mining, but really finding what they're good at and able to find that linkage and letting it flow from start to finish. So we'll see how the numbers come in for Mimi, our first competitor here in our third and final heat. Remember, the top two will transfer onto the finals of a 6-competitor final, and today we will crown a 2021 Red Bull Art of Motion champion, as they're the numbers and awfully high. Wow, a 400. That is going to bode well for Mimi as we look down through the order. 4 more competitors to go here in Heat 3. He has to be happy with that number.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, his execution was on point. He landed everything he set out to do. His difficulty was definitely there. He had some hard moves he put together. Creativity, understandably, a little bit lower than the rest of it, because he wasn't really using any part of the course nobody else is touching. He wasn't finding anything really that surprising, but he really nailed what he set out to do.
And the Austrian Lisa Schneider, you've often said she has all the ingredients, but it's going to have to all go into this one recipe, this one heat, third heat run right now.
All right, so we saw her start off in the bar, come back, make her way back around to it, and using that actually as a way to get up, which is smart because it's a nice fluid movement there. There, car into her A-twist, coming down onto the box. She's very comfortable with these more connected movements. Nice seated backflip there. What we saw, kind of a version of what we saw Bob Reese hitting. Little aerial into a step down, jumping over the gap, smile on her face. Popping into that roll off the block, catching her foot a little bit on the ledge there, but using this ladder. Oh, I love this move she's hitting there. A very creative use of the space. I think the judges will like that as well, and cartwheel over the gap.
I was definitely feeling the creativity there, making use of that dead space. We have seen an insane amount of creativity from all these competitors so far, and it's good to see the smile from the young Austrian.
I think one of the danger zones for an athlete like Lisa is that if she keeps her level of difficulty low, then she has to execute perfectly, and I'm not sure that's exactly what happened here. You know, she really was relying on that flow and execution score, and I'm not sure it's going to come through, but she had some very creative setups. You see how she used her left hand there to just give herself a push off the wall. I like this setup. She did go back up to the same bar. Using the same element twice is definitely going to ding her a little bit there, but I think she found some creative setups, and she's going to hopefully come through with a higher score there. Very clean landings. Comes into a nice position here, gives herself a moment to set up, but not too much weight there. And she even used her hand a little bit just to give herself a little bit extra comfort room here. Nice Makaku to set herself up. I'm wondering if she had something she was going to do here on the bar, but just wanted to save herself a little bit. Nice aerial there to get herself into position, dropping down into her roll. Comes a little bit closer to the wall there than I believe she was probably hoping for, but I actually really enjoyed this move she used here because each handhold that she's using, each part you can see she's grabbing on the ladder and then also on this little handle here. It's just a smart use of the space that shows she's really gone over this course and found what she can work with.
So a 303. So right now, put her third place in the women's field for Schneider as we continue on down to our next competitor, Elise Bickley.
Well, this is an athlete who could certainly push Lisa out of that third place position. She could potentially move up into a top position in the women's field and maybe even make it through into the finals overall. Starting off on the bar, nice flyaway over that gap, landing pretty close to the edge, but hasn't slowed her down. Again, using the bar to make her way up there, at least someone very comfortable on the bar. Oh, nice palm drop into the gap. Pop cartwheel into a little DD roll, making her way down. A little psych spin there off the wall. Big backflip over the gap. All right, definitely paying attention to the water on the other side of her. Here she is looking mean with a fierce side flip over the gap, also clearing the ledge. She makes it, lands a little bit lower than she'd like to, but she's setting herself up for a 360 to finish things off and calling it there on the finishing platform.
How about the boat-to-boat gap and leaving before that ledge, not even using the ledge, but started off very strong.
Yeah, nice, very clean dismount gainer over the gap. You can see that ledge right there. You can really mess yourself up, but she lands it clean, makes her way back onto the bar and up. I think she's probably avoiding having to climb up, for an athlete like her. It's a lot less work to swing on the bar than it is to climb up, but she makes her way into that nice palm drop. And here, look at this great backflip over the gap, stomping that landing, making sure she's not gonna tip over into our lovely port here at Micro Limino. And then huge side flip over the gap. Oh, took it a little hard on the ankle. She barely was able to clear, but she also took off before the ledge, so she didn't give herself that extra boost of going up for that pop side over the gap. She made it a little bit bigger, pushing that challenge a little bit harder, finishing with that 360 off the final platform.
All right, so the score to beat to move into a second transfer spot would be 303, and that's out of a possible 500. Top score right now is by Mimi, our Greek competitor here, sitting on top with a 400. Remember, top two competitors advance on to the finals.
And you can see her difficulty a little bit higher than Lisa's. We'll see if it's enough to push her all the way out.
319, so Lisa Schneider, she'll get pushed down to third. So that will make Elise Bickley third place in the women's division as they compete alongside the men. Very, very cool format. And there is your defending champion. If you reflect back 2 years, pre-COVID, pre-everything, this was your champion from Matera, Italy. From Morocco, now residing in LA. What an incredible story. What a journey that free running has brought him on. Can Didi find the flow?
Look at that inward side straight away off that tiny ledge. Very nice. 720 back down. Pops up to that gainer full. Spins through it. Nice flow into that palm side. A twist down. Setting up for something here. Very clean lazy side. A little bit close to that ledge. But he hits his, stumbling a little bit. He's coming close to these walls here. I think it just shows how tight this course is. Not a lot of room to play with here. But he's jumping over the gap. Palm spin and inward rise right to the edge of the boat. I think the judges are probably going to ding him a little bit here, but finishes strong with a nice, clean, signature DD behind the back double leg.
Furious, frenetic pace, and you mentioned there was the bobbles, but was there enough? He was packing so much into it.
Yeah,
Can it override?
He started off really strong, that nice pop inward side off the wall, very low ledge, nice back double full, very clean landing, as we can expect here. Comes up a little bit tight, maybe clipping his feet on that mount gainer full. Very tough move. Nice palm side, clean there. A twist down. And then you know he was setting up here, but lands a little bit farther back than I think he'd like to, but also meant to make sure he wasn't going to hit that ledge that he landed so close to. And here he is, circle into back cast, but I think he's just so close to these ledges. You can see how tight everything is here, but this is his biggest area that he has to play with, and he just played it so close to the wall. I'm wondering if he was just rushing a little bit through some of this stuff. But overall, he didn't fall off anything. He still got a smile on his face. Pulled off a very good run. I think he decided to pull out one of his moves there. He did, instead of flipping over the gap, he's gonna palm spin over this, which is still very nice setup for this inward rise. You can see how close he is to the edge of the boat there, and decides to finish with a signature move he knows he can stomp out behind the back.
That's that DD Steez,
double leg.
the DD Steez that we love so much. So packed in so much in that run, and you could see he was just moving through the course so quickly, just a couple of bobbles here and there. But when you talk about the technicality factor, the difficulty, and the progression of what he's doing, sometimes that can override, and that's why we have 5 judges, one looking at creativity, difficulty, flow, execution, overall performance, numbers dropping, and it's good to see in the upper 80s. That's where you need to be out of a possible 500. Remember, we start with 18 athletes, 3 heats of 6 competitors, and we whittle it down to 6 finalists. As you can only imagine, the judges really getting out the abacus and figuring out we have to get this right. You're looking at the defending champion right now of Red Bull Art of Motion, and there it is, a 4:01.
Wow.
We have a new leader in Heat 3, and that bodes well, but however, there are 2 more competitors left to go, and both of them could unseat the balance.
Yeah, I mean, look how close. Absolutely how close this competition is. I mean, he only pushed out Mimi's by 1 point, and that puts him right on the edge. I mean, it's a good seat, but it's not as comfortable a seat as I think DD would have wanted.
All right, and what we see up first, it was predicted earlier, he is getting the crowd here in Micro La Mano amped, as we can hear the port come to life.
I mean, I know what Shea is setting up for here, and it is massive. Ooh, a hard landing on that cast back precision. I mean, I know that Shea wanted it bad. He was testing it all week getting set. That big pin flip down over the wall. Kong over the gap, side flip precision, making his way into a nice gate here. Ooh, very tiny back 90, low cast back, and finishing it. Wow, just blazing through that course.
No biggie, folks. Look, how do you instantly bounce back from a miss like that?
I mean, sometimes I think that's the only way to go. When you take a hit like that, I mean, he basically almost missed his feet completely. We'll see another take on it. He said this was his max distance on this cast back. Wow. He just caught his heels, set up to try to dash down, but he caught a lot of his hips. If he waited any longer, he'd start to feel it in his back, and he probably wouldn't have been able to finish this run as strong as he did. But overall, really, that was his only mistake here. So he will get dinged for that. I mean, probably pretty hard because that was a hard hit, but it was also a big move.
So much commitment right from the get-go.
Yeah.
You talk about that high risk, high reward when you do it right at the start of your run.
Yeah, and you can see he's just pushing through here. Little A-twist into this pimp flip. Very nice. A little low on the landing, but he steezes through it and comes away. I mean, he really just powers through the rest of this course. Kong over to the gap, which is nice because he doesn't slow down. I mean, he really didn't slow down at all, even considering he finished so hard on that first move.
And such a great story with Shea Rudolph. Started as a super fan, and now he's competing against, well, the defending champion. I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, listening to him talk with his twin brother on the course, who also almost, arrived through the on-site qualifier, but they have an encyclopedic knowledge of this competition. They were calling years back, saying, "Oh, I remember when Alfred Scott hit this. I remember when this happened in Santorini years ago." And they grew up watching this competition together, and it's amazing to see them competing at this level now.
Yeah, and to see the kinship, just the support all these athletes give each other. 371, just outside of the top two, but that means our defending champ, he is guaranteed a fast track to the finals. The big question, Mimi, as we see him there to the right of your screen, will he find his way to the finals? Only one other competitor to go here in our third and final heat, and that is Archie Aroyan, the Russian, one of your favorites. If anyone could upset the balance, it's this gentleman right here.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, wow. Skipping the first part of the course. A very interesting move, but it means he's got to have something big that needs a perfect setup for to start. I mean, I want to see the best from Arch. Oh, look at that. Back full on the ledge, right into back 90 off. That's not what I was expecting, but he pulls the Cartahara right there. Very nice move, very clean. Let's see what he sets up. Ooh, double pistol side. That shotgun freeze, he's holding in there. Very clean, double full, gyros out a little bit, almost a 2.5 there. 360 over the gap, dashing over the distance there onto the block. A-twist down and finishing. Man, what a quick run from Archie.
Fast, furious, but yeah, lots of sneakiness in there.
Yes, and very clean. This is not the run that we expect from Archie. We're used to seeing very long lines, lots of connections, lots of moves.
Lots of choreography right at the end, too.
Yeah, his girlfriend, Sheva, another amazing competitor. She's been working on her dancing. Maybe she taught him some moves. But look at that back full precision into that back 90 off, popping off into it very, very clean, right into this Cartahara. He steps down, Kongs, boom, he hits that. See, he's doing this flip off of his hands over the wall, so tough, and lands very nice. See that signature smooth steez from Archie, and sets himself up for this shotgun double right here. Look at that.
The English on that as well.
Yeah. It's such a sketchy move because it's so easy to go way too off axis. And look at that little pop, psych freeze. Very clean double with a little extra 90 on the end. I mean, Archie can hit triples in his sleep. So I'm really interested to see we didn't hit it. He might have been saving it for the finals. I mean, he cut a lot of this course out. He did play it, in my opinion, very safe, but I think because of how clean everything was and how high level of difficulty, it's going to be enough to push him through into the finals. But we'll have to see what the judges have to say about it.
The score to beat to move in to that transfer spot, Mimi is holding on to a 400. Didi's already guaranteed because he's currently sitting in the top spot. So it's really going to come down to just hairs here of fractions of numbers. As the scores come in, a 433, have a new leader, so, but it's not about taking the lead here in Heat 3, it's about punching your ticket to the finals. So Archie, along with defending champ Didi Alawi, will move on to the final. Unfortunately for our Greek competitor, Mimi is pushed to that third spot, which means we will not be seeing him in the finals.
Well, this is very interesting to see. I think, as we've seen, our two top athletes from each heat, Christian Koleski and Archie Aroyan, both hit short runs, very short, but they were not dinged for that. They were able to come through with really high scores. It shows the judges don't really care so much about seeing a lot of moves. They want to see really good moves landed really well.
And the numbers don't lie. A 433, Archie knew exactly what he wanted to do. He played it smart. You were talking about this course. It plays to his strengths. But defending champ Didi Alawi, the good news for him, he wants to prove, yeah, I'm not a one-time wonder. I'm going to go back-to-back. So will we see a two-time back-to-back champion? We will have to wait for the finals to find out. So a chance to exhale. Frosty, I know we've been pretty nonstop right from the get-go. So now that the three heats are in the books, what do you make of it? Versus expectations versus what we saw?
I mean, we saw a lot of what we expected to see, but very little of it in the way we planned on it going. I mean, so much has gone down here. People are pulling things out of the bag that we have not seen before. Everybody is going big. I mean, if you could look in our booth right now, you'd see we're all on the edge of our seat out there here.
Okay, well, once again, we check in both sides with Bench Cave.
So I'm here with Didi and Archie, our final two qualifiers into the final. Didi, your emotions, what are they like after qualifying? Your emotions, how are you feeling?
Feel good, man. It was a little bit close, you know. I made it by 1 point, and that's all what I need, you know. All I was thinking about is to make it to second round, and that's it, you know. It doesn't matter how well I did in the first round, as long as I make it to the finals.
I mean, I'm looking forward to your second run. Archie, how did you enjoy this year's course?
I'm so happy. I like this course because it's my style, and I'm so happy about this.
You both smashed it. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Benj. Wow, just two champions right there. One defending champion, but everyone's saying is Archie. You know, he's ripe to grab a top spot. It's going to get so heated when we work towards our final as we look at our 6 finalists, and big nod to Noah there making the transfer spot along with Bob Reese, Christian Kowaleski, Ed Scott, Archie Arroyan, and Didi Alawi, defending champ. Our final is set. Right now we check in with Kaz.
Hello, I'm here. Sorry, it's extremely loud, but I'm here with Greek freerunner DK. DK, when we first arrived, I saw you rehearsing. You looked incredible, but unfortunately you had to pull out because of your ankle. How are you?
Right now, I have some pain in my leg. It's called bone edema. I had it since 3.5 months ago. I got it. It healed pretty well.